So now I'm going to talk to you about what we do on the way back from seeing the wildlife. So normally we do have a little bit of time before we get back to the harbour. That can vary. It can be 10 minutes or it could be half an hour. But it's the perfect opportunity to have a wildlife discussion with our guests on board, to let them ask questions and learn more about the animals that we have seen. So first thing to do is to grab the mic. Again, don't be afraid of it. Put it on. Have the little foam ball quite close to your mouth, ready to speak. And announce that the wildlife discussion will be happening inside the cabin. You can say we still have plenty of hot drinks if you want to warm up and make use of that free hot chocolate. You can encourage people inside for that, or to just make sure they're nice and cozy. But the wildlife discussion will be happening in the main cabin in a few minutes. Bring them on inside, start the discussion, and we do have plenty of props on board to engage them. I quite like using this fella. If we have seen a humpback whale, it's pretty neat to use this stuffy to demonstrate the humpback whale. We do have other props on board. We have slides, we have some baleen as well. Kids and adults love the baleen, so don't be shy to pass around these props in your discussion. You might be wondering the actual content of the discussion. This adapts to the tour that we have had, and it is really good to particularly focus on the species that we have seen. What I usually do is start off with a general overview of what whales actually are. That's a great start. So I normally find this Whales of the World slide pretty handy, just to try and emphasize that you get two types of whales: toothed whales, baleen whales, what's the difference between them, what type of whale we actually saw today. So that's a pretty nice one to start off with. You can then describe the differences between the two types, and then go on to what you actually saw. So you may have been lucky enough to see killer whales on your tour. That's the opportunity to provide more information on the killer whales, and also if the passengers have any questions, it's quite nice when it's passenger led, when they get to know the information that they really want to find out. And you may have seen humpback whales, so you can mention the humpback whales. You may see one or both or neither, and you can adapt the discussion to what you see. Killer whales. So when you're coming to talk about the killer whales, this is a really neat slide that shows the size difference between males, females, and the babies, the little ones. It's really good to talk about the social interaction of these animals. They're very social, they're matriarchal society. Again, size and weight, that they're black and white whales. Again, nothing is too simple. And then another really important thing you can talk about is the different types of killer whales we get in these waters. We have the transient killer whales that are marine mammal eaters. And then we have the resident killer whales that are salmon eaters.
And I will be giving a brief marine mammal talk just to kind of give a greater context to some of the animals that we got to see today. We were lucky enough to see several different species of marine mammal. To start us off, I am holding up here a picture of all of the different cetaceans in the world. Now, if you haven't heard that word before, it is a fancy word, the Latin word for whale. All cetaceans, there are about 90 different species of cetaceans in the world, and they're mainly categorized into two main groups. We have on this side right here the toothed whales, and then on this side here we have the baleen whales. As you can probably guess, the toothed whales have teeth and the baleen whales have baleen. But there are a couple of more interesting differences between these two groups of animals. And lucky enough, some of us were actually able to see representatives of both of these different groups. So, to start us off, also we'll be passing these around just so you can get a closer look at some of the slides I have here, and there is some more information on the back. if you like that.
Pinniped comes from Latin